Hey, everybody, welcome to another edition of the America Guns and Freedom podcast with your host, me, the Yankee Marshal. As always, this is just an open chat. You decide what we talk about. You send in questions. You suggest topics. It's all up to you. If you don't like what we're talking about, ask a question. Change the subject. If you want something specific talked about, suggest it. And there's different ways you can do that. You can put something in the live chat. Just make sure you put out the Yankee Marshal in front of it. You can contact me via email, shootingleftofcenter@gmail.com, or you can use the link at the top of the chat here, the Phil Tithe End Shadows Suffering donation, because we are doing a special thing tonight. We are trying to save, no, not save, but put a poor puppy out of his misery. He's a dog that's owned by a veteran that my sister knows. He's an elderly veteran living on Social Security. And his loving dog of 17 years, his best friend, is now at the end of his life, and he can't afford to have him put down. But he went everywhere today trying to get him to do it, and maybe get a discount or try to get him to do it for free, and he would pay them back and all this other stuff, and nobody could do it or would do it. It's $375 to get him in quickly to get it done. So we're going to try to raise that so that we can end the Shadow suffering. It's not Ghost Shadow, like I said earlier. It's Shadow the dog. I wish we had the money in the pets and vets coffers, but as you know, that is bankrupt. In fact, we're $700 and something in the hole. So that isn't a possibility. So I'm just going to donate everything we bring in tonight towards getting that done tomorrow so that the poor little puppy will stop suffering. I can't stand to see him suffer. So if you can, help out. If you can't, don't. But if you can, help out. I can't expect you to help out if you can't, because, you don't know the dog or the person. But for those of us that can help out, help out. With that being said, I want to start the chat here. And I want to start by reading if we got any orders. I don't think we did. I usually like to start off with orders that we've received. Let me check and make sure. No, there were no orders. But I do want to say to everybody out there, if you want to help support the channel, and we need it more than ever, especially after yesterday, mass subs leaving and supporters on Patreon, etc. If you want to support the channel, let me take the picture down here. It's kind of sad. There we go. If you want to help support the channel, go over to my website, TYMPpistolproject.com. Over there's a link. You can go to my Shopify page, buy merchandise like this right here. It's not a Confederate flag. It's the first American flag. Go on over there, get you some merch like this or some other stuff. Most of the other stuff's more whimsical than this, but feel free. Go over, support the channel, support the Pets and Vets program, the Handguns for Heroes, the TYMP. Also, while you're over there, if you want to try to take up some of the slack of all the subscribers we lost because of my not fondness of Charlie Kirk, you can go over and also on that page, TYMPpistolproject.com, you can become a Subscribe Star member or a Patreon member. We need Patreon members more than anything to support the Pets and Vets program. So with that spiel out of the way, also remember, subscribe. I've lost like 1,000 subs almost. So I think it might be 1,000 now. Not that the subs matter, but, I like to have a little bit of reach. It's just a random number next to your name. Actually, most people don't get involved, and I'm sure most of the people left don't get involved. But let's see here. Let me get to the questions and see what we got coming in. I'm a little disjointed today. I've been crawling around under my son's car all day, trying to find out two things: why there's a clunk in the front wheel of the Mustang, and why the Camaro is still leaking gas like a sieve through the high pressure hose. We put it back on today. We put the gas resistant sealant on it. We tightened it down to the 28 foot-pounds it's supposed to be tightened down to, and nothing. It's still leaking like a fucking sieve. So I don't know what's going on. But let's get over here to the questions. All transactions. It's just been a bad 24 hours. All right, let me get to where we started here. Oh, and it's 9/11 too. I didn't even think that it's 9/11 today. Good Lord, what a bad day. A bad, bad day. Where am I at? We got some stuff came in earlier from Jeffrey Vaughn. This came in at like 2 in the morning. I don't know. Early yesterday, chat vibed like someone who bitches at their managers and bitches to others about being fired. Speaking ill of the dead is fine so long as it's honest. Prefer not to the grieving. Yeah, you don't want to talk to the grieving. I'm sure his wife doesn't watch my channel. I'd be willing to bet that she doesn't. And what really bothers me the most, I actually made a comment on Twitter that I don't usually ever comment on Twitter, but I did. Because Alex Jones put out a video crying in his car about how good a man Charlie Kirk was. And I just had to say, the only thing worse than a husband and father losing their life because over a difference of political opinions is the crocodile tears of this fat piece of shit. I said money grabbing fat piece of shit. So I have a spurred to comment. And then for the people who are going to leave because I don't like Alex Jones, I hope you've left already. Because I actually talked shit about that. Alex Jones. I never really talked about Charlie Kirk. He's not on my radar. He doesn't come after the Second Amendment or try to harm the memory of children, for all I know, for what I know. Medium frame 32 380 ACP for the old fogies. He's answering the question from yesterday. He was answering it like 2 in the morning. Let's see here. Let me see. I think he did one more. I'm having trouble getting started today on the questions, if you didn't know. Hope your channel stays afloat. Been listening for over 4 years, participating the last 4 months. You're my favorite daily live chat with a crotchy old cuss for the P and the V. Who's a crotchy old cuss? Are you talking about Ghost Shadow or Johnny Mandrick? It's got to be one of those two. I figure it's one of them two. Then we got Clint Harrison chiming in here. Oh, and by the way, I will also tonight, since we're trying to raise money for the puppy, I will double entries into the double super secret pig giveaway. Remember, we're giving away a pig 238. So the HD, all stainless. I'm whittling down my collection by giving away stuff, trying to keep pets and vets afloat. Clint Harrison just said, rest easy, Shadow. Yeah, and it pains me that he's having to wait till tomorrow. It's just horrible. Sean Bain chimed in and said, for Shadow. I knew he would chime in. I knew he would donate. I just knew he would. Per Gustafsson, also here, donated and said, I picked up my Ruger American in 7.62 by 39 today, asshole. I was going to send a picture, but I don't know. Might shoot it tomorrow. Use the money for whatever you need it for. Well, it's going to go to Shadow tonight. And why would you tell us you got a new gun and then not show us a picture? Because we're going to hate you either way, so you might as well show us a picture. Some people are just gun teasers. It's just awful. It's just mean. Andrew Avila chimed in and said, foreshadow. I wish people would ask questions when they do their foreshadow, though, so that I'm not just saying foreshadow for the next 10 minutes. Not that I'm looking a gift horse in the mouth. I'm just saying. John Heasley chimed in and said, for the help to help the puppy not suffer anymore. Yes. I don't even like thinking about the fact that he's got to suffer through the night. Christian Carlson got him a bunch of entries now because we are doubling entries tonight. And he said, poor doggo. Yes, I know, it's sad. Imagine if you're the guy you're in your 70s and your companion of the last 17 years through thick and thin is suffering. I'm going to get myself all upset again. So stop it. Trevor Cargyle for that sweet pupper. Yes. Clinton Barella. And you can stand under his Barella. For the dog, very sad. Yes, it is. It's very sad. It's about to make me cry. I'm sitting here stifling back tears and sobs because I know what it feels like. I can imagine when the last days when Mavis was suffering, if I didn't have any way to stop it, I would have died. It would have killed me. Let's see, where was I? Jason Thompson, Officer Tater Hater, chimed in and said, I sent what I could. The Leto's law about New York cops getting off on DUIs really pissed me off. Any cop who gets his buddy off a DUI job needs to lose those little tadpoles. But yeah, I agree. Any cop getting found out to have helped another cop get out of a DUI, they should both be fired. The person who got the DUI and the person who helped him get out of it. Sorry for the loss of a longtime friend. Shadow Rip chase lots of bunnies in heaven. I bet he will. Who was it just said that? Was that Charles Shanice? Yes, that was Charles Shanice. I thought it was, but I wasn't sure. Then we got Paul Shakira. And he said, for tonight's fundraiser, FYI, many local humane societies will do euthanasia on a donation basis only. Yeah, I don't know if they tried that around here, but it didn't seem like they were having much luck if they did try it. My sister's sent me like 50 texts beside herself calling everybody. I should tell her that, did you? I'm sure she did. Paul Bidenbach chimed in and said, got him a bunch of entries into the drawing. Hail Phil, puppy needs a break. Yeah. Times like this, I wish Phil took a more active interest in things. But he likes dogs, so I don't think he'd be able to handle it. I don't want him to start crying. His tears could flood a county. Could wipe out all of like Alabama or something. We don't want, well, maybe we do. I don't know. John Bush said, for the pup, my last dog made it to 18 years old. Don't like putting down pets. Have to do it as a responsible owner. Phil can't have this donation. Well, Phil gives all of his money to the Pets and Vets Fund anyway. He gives all of it to Pets and Vets. He don't need it. He doesn't have pockets, for one, so where's he going to fucking put it? And two, he don't need anything. He can already take anything he wants. I mean, who's going to stop an octopus that's bigger than all of known existence? If he wants something, he's going to take it. If you owned a donut shop and a giant sentient octopus that's well armed, by the way, if all the pictures are to be taken seriously, walked up to the front of your shop, reached a tentacle in there and took a tray of donuts, what are you going to do? You going to stop him? Especially not if you know he can give you Lyme disease. You're not going to try to stop him. You're going to be, well, you're welcome. Have as many as you want. Let's see here. That was John Bush. Herbert Skeens. Is he in relation to that guy in the Deadpool movies and his last name Skeen? He donated through the website for TYMP. Slade Shoemaker. One of my best friends in ninth grade was named Shoemaker. Timothy Shoemaker. Sad day. Yes, it is. 9/11, sick dog. I pissed off a lot of people. No, don't forget my suffering. I mean, I like to think that I still matter. I like to think I'm still the main character, but that shows you where I'm coming from. I'm that stupid. I think I'm the main character. JL West chimed in here, got some entries, and said for Shadow, Philip Gonzalez, Speedy Gonzalez. Do they ever call you Speedy? Some love for Shadow. I wonder if they call him Speedy. If I had a friend named Gonzalez, I'd call him Speedy. That'd be his nickname. If it was Rodriguez, it'd be Slowpoke. Slowpoke Rodriguez. That was Slowpoke's name, right? JL West chimed in and said, Foreshadow. Philip Guns. Wait, did I? I think I read that one twice. And then I read Philip Gonzalez's again here. See, I don't know where I'm at. Todd Huntington. I used to live in Huntington, West Virginia. I went to school there. That's where Marshall University is at. I wouldn't suggest living there to most people. Well, it's fun for a college town if you're in college and you're young, but there ain't much there. Always hard to lose a dog, harder to watch him suffer. Yes, and then it's hard to make that decision of when is it time. See, the problem I've had with so many dogs is they'll be doing poorly, and then they rally. And then they do poorly, then they rally. And I'm like, when do I decide that it's time? I don't want to take 2 or 3 good days away from them. But I don't want them to suffer either. So, and it's selfish. But I don't want them to have to go. Sean Coleman chimed in and said, found out my wife's pregnant, so I decided to quit smoking and drinking. Also got a new gun, will email pics. Right, son of a bitch. Son of a bitch with his new gun. And I got it over here too. He is a son of a bitch. I got some emails over here. We'll get to them here shortly. Johnny Mandrick chimed in and said, for the poor old doggo, my condolences. The werewolf lobby has been too quiet lately. What are they up to? I don't know. I don't know nothing about no werewolves. I've never even, what's a werewolf? Never heard of them. Ryan McFarland did a big old donation and said, I don't like the idea of putting down an animal, but I understand it. Hope this helps. Everyone chill and be kind. And if you can, buy a friend a gun. I'll be your friend if you buy me a gun for a while. And then you have to buy me another gun after a while. But thank you for your donation. As to everybody the last 20 minutes. This is Mikey D. To help Shadow on his last trip to end the suffering, you upset by Shadow, which I agree. Maybe if you imagined he was Charlie Kirk, wouldn't bother you as much. Well, if he's a person, it wouldn't bother me as much. I just have to pretend he's a person. But I have a soft spot for animals, especially when you're talking about them and they're hurting. Our last super chat here is from Jeffrey Beeson. And he said, to help end Shadow's suffering. And remember, it's not Ghost Shadow. So I know some of you, I think, might be contributing thinking it's Ghost Shadow we're putting down. It is not Ghost Shadow. So don't get your hopes up. Let's just say that. All right. I'm being a big pussy tonight. Can you all tell I get a little choked up sometimes? I know most of you think, oh, not Yankee. He's one of the most manly, toughest men I've ever seen. He don't get upset. He's a rock. Well, I got my thumb on the inside of my fist. He's a rock. There. Right. And my thumb was cold. All right, let's get over to the emails. I want to share those. I'll make sure I got all of them. Frank Rodriguez, John Heasley trying to make himself sound like he's better than me. Oh wait, where's Brandon Austin? He wanted to come in tonight and talk to me about Charlie Kirk. I don't see him yet. He might have been joking. I don't know. But let's share the emails here. What did I just do? I did the wrong thing. Share screen. There we go. Winder. This came from Frank Rodriguez. Slowpoke Rodriguez. Yankee, the new werewolf movie looks cool. I hope that's not the werewolf they use. That's the one that actually I think is the werewolf from what's his face's movie. The guy plays Wolverine. That was the vampire hunter movie he did. But it says Robert Eggers' werewolf has now started filming. Good. And this dude's in everything now, ain't he? What's his name? He was Kick-Ass, and now he's like and he married like a 50-year-old woman when he's 17 or something. He's in everything, though. I guess that was a good move to marry like a casting director when you're 17. Can't fault his logic. And then, okay, here we got Sweetie showing us his new gun he just bought that he bragged about and then didn't show us a picture. It's 7.62 by 3.9 Ruger American. Looks sweet. He's set up there. And then we got Mr. Man, who sent us bragging. He got a new gun and that he was going to quit smoking and drinking, I think he said, too. Well, was that him that said that? Or, no, that might have been someone else that said that. That was Ryan McFarland said that. You should stop smoking and drinking. Well, drinking, yeah, you should stop it. It's bad for you. Drinking's never good for you. Those studies that showed, 1 or 2 drinks a night's good for your health. They were bullshit. They were sponsored by the alcohol companies. One of those send $1 million over to Sweden and they'll send you back a study kind of things. So, yeah, screw that. But where's the picture? Oh, there it is. S-Man said, new Marlin. Ain't that purty? That's a purty Marlin right there. Boom. Boom. Can I see the little dot? I can't see the dot. See if it's red or black. If it's black, it's actually a Marlin. And then if it's red, it's a Ruger. Isn't that right? I'm not sure if that's right, but ain't that purty? Love a good lever action. What did he say? It was chambered in? 357. It says it's in 357 man, but I think it's in 357 mag. Unless it shoots little men out of it. All right, that's it for the emails. Let's get over here. I think some of these super chats are not for tonight's shooting the shit, so I want to go over here and make sure. Daniel Pennant said, hello, does the channel still exist? Barely. Payday, cheated $600 on my paycheck this week. We'll go punch somebody in the throat. I'm so fed up with corporate America, I'm to the point of calling the state labor department. I'd do that anyway. I won't take that shit. And then if they fire you, people are always like, I'm afraid to do that. They'll fire me. Do it. Because then if they fire you immediately afterwards, you'll sue the fucking shit out of them. So that'll be an unjust termination. That's a retaliatory termination so that they don't have to abide by state regulations. So punch him in the face. Go punch him. Dropping Nothing Fancy Patreon. His Charlie Kirk video is scummy as fuck. I'll send the money to you Patreons instead. I think I'm a Nothing Fancy supporter. Although he doesn't talk much about guns anymore, so I don't know if I should still be. But what did he say? Was he kissing his ass like he's the greatest person ever? I don't know. Maybe Nothing Fancy is a Christian. I mean, I can see where the Christians like Charlie Kirk. I'm not a Christian. And I also used to be in debate club and stuff, and I don't like the way he does his little faux debates. Nominal Snowman again. I told everybody I think he's having a nervous breakdown. At about 9, I tried to starve myself to death due to depression and schizophrenia on a gurney with a feeding tube. My father told me to jump out a window. Yeah, good people aren't always good parents. Some parents are gross. Uh, my dad's not a good parent. He was one of these guys that had a family with one person and then ran off and had a family with another woman after his divorce. And once he had a family with another woman, first family didn't exist anymore. We weren't important. All his time and resources went to his second kids, which I don't hold against them. That's my brother and my sister. As far as I'm concerned, one was my sister. My brother died. But I don't like my stepmother at all. She was evil, still is evil. But my dad was, and people are like, in my own family are like, oh, he only did it because Melody would have made his life miserable if he did stuff with you kids and all this stuff. And I'm like, I don't care. If someone told me, like right now, we adopted these 2 kids together. But if I was told it's me or the kids, it'd be like, well, let me help you pack your suitcase. I've had to do the old yeller before because didn't have the money for a vet for the pets. Fuck YouTube, the rich, and all that, dogs, everything else. Yeah, it's sad. And I've done it before too. We used to do it with goats and stuff. Like all the time you would get goats that were deformed or weren't going to make it, and you go out and you dig a hole and you sit them down in it and you shoot them in the head with a 410 shotgun. About the only good use for a 410. So yeah, it can be tough. Jacob C gifted a membership to somebody. I don't know who got it, but somebody got it. Now let me see. Martin Bisquick said, for a Dr. Pepper cream soda. I haven't had any in a while. I've been drinking Pepsi almost exclusively. Pepsi and orange. The Fanta, orange, zero sugar. Fanta. It's so juicy in your mouth. If nobody has watched the 2 Liter Beth parody, you need to watch it. Like, go watch it right now. Screw this shit going on here right now. This ain't funny. Go watch that. That's funny. It was from that fat guy that was on there that took Will Sasso's place. But yeah, I haven't had cream soda in a long time. All right, now I think the rest of these might be for the regular chat tonight. Yes, so we got halfway there to being able to do the shoot the shit. So if you want to weigh in for the shoot the shit, please do so. We will get to it after we finish tonight's chat. And right now, I got to go over see if there's any more donations for the fund. I haven't even looked to see where we're at now, but I'm betting we've already covered it. So anybody who's worried about covering the fund, it's covered. So anything from this point will probably just go to cover the shortfall in pets and vets, and maybe we can do something else for somebody else eventually. But I do believe that we have covered the expenses. I haven't even looked, but I'm pretty sure because some people were fairly generous. Some people are good people. That's why I said today, I think most people are good people. And I got shit for it. I lost 57 subs on a video where I said most people are good people and don't want to hurt nobody. And you know why I lost subs on that? Because each side wants to pretend like the other side is just nothing but bloodthirsty monsters. They're not even human. And that just shows that those people have been programmed by the fucking billionaires and the churches and everybody else that wants to maintain power and the status quo. You've been programmed and you can't even think about breaking your programming. Because when someone says something like most people are good, you have to be like, not the other side. They're monsters. They're not even human. Well, that just shows what you know, because they're just like you. The people that aren't like us are the people that are telling you that they're not like you. That the other side's not like you. All right, let's get over. Oh, I was still doing these over here, wasn't I? Jeffrey Vaughn chimed in and said, for a peaceful passing for me or for the dog. I don't think my passing is going to be that peaceful, to be honest. I fully intend to go out screaming, wailing, flailing my arms, and shitting and pissing myself. That's how I hope I go out. Just a screaming, flailing banshee, spewing shit and piss everywhere. That's how I want to be remembered. I've already told my sons and stuff that when I get old and I move in with them, if they don't start cleaning up their rooms and taking care of some stuff, I'm going to shit myself every day. And sometimes I'm just going to shit on the couch. Go take the pants off, sit down, shit right on the couch. I don't even care if I'm incontinent or not. I'm just going to do it. So get ready to change some diapers. Let's see here. Adon Marino, in relation to Rita Marino. Sorry that I'm a poor. If I'd have won the $1 billion lottery, I'd have paid for the entire do not use this for midget hookers or cocaine. Oh, I haven't had a midget. I don't do that anymore. I'm too old for that shit now. Cocaine would probably kill me. I've never actually done cocaine. Well, no, that's not true. I have done cocaine. A medicinal cocaine, because when I had the surgery to reconstruct my nose, the first thing they did is they packed it with cocaine, the medicine grade cocaine, which is apparently good stuff, which is a good thing they did. That's the only way I made it through what they did. Those fuckers came over with a syringe, big old needle that had a rubber stopper on the back, and pounded it into my bone right here. I never heard of such a thing. And then they made me look up and gave me a shot down in my fucking eyeballs. I was like, this is the worst torture I've ever endured. And I'm like a 15-year-old, 16-year-old kid who got his nose broke a lot because he had a big mouth. I know you're saying right now, no, not a soft-spoken, kind, sweet person like you. No, I was a little monster when I was young. I was quiet and kept to myself. Didn't have much use for other people back then either. I had friends that I hung around with, but I didn't want to spend every minute with them, that kind of thing. But yeah, I was kind of an asshole when I was a teenager. I had a chip on my shoulder, and I walked around looking for people to try to knock it off. I had a lot of issues. So yeah, that's just how it is. Why did that come through on shooting left to center? I don't know what's going on. Martin Bisquick. But no, I'm not using it for midget hookers. And Jeffrey Bond chimed in again and said, do I get cussed out for getting a customized gun back? Yes. Getting a gun customized is almost worse than getting a new gun, because then you got a one-of-a-kind gun, which pisses me off. I want people to buy guns, and I want the gun market to do really well, but I don't want people to get more guns than me. Is that so wrong? Yeah, we've lost another 15 subscribers since we started the chat. All right, let's get back to what we were doing. Another on top of what we had already lost. Like we'd already lost like 20. So I don't know what's going on, but people, I would have never thought Charlie Kirk was that popular. I never talked about him, never really thought about him. But apparently he was the darling of the right wing, apparently. I don't think much of him because I don't like his policies, but I guess he was like the darling of the gun community, the right-wing gun community. I agreed with his gun positions. Although, speaking of which, before I get over to the emails, I see the new attack thing they're using to go after guns because of the Charlie Kirk thing is they're saying, oh, well, that person who shot him didn't have to be a professional because guns these days have been made to the point where with optics and all these other things that anyone can assassinate someone from a distance. that they weren't necessarily good with a gun, which is true. But they're using that as their attack on guns now. That guns these days are too accurate and the accessories are too good, and just anybody can be an assassin now. So we're going to have to start, checking on who gets these bolt action rifles and stuff. So, yeah. Bullshit House Bill 218. Oh yeah, it's about the stuff about the gun stores, about the security and all this other crap, and surveillance and everything. And they want gun owners, every gun shop, to put in systems that would be tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars just to be able to monitor their store when they are already strapped and already suffering under the laws they've already passed. Like I say, it's all about getting rid of gun retailers. It's all about getting retailers. Go Shadow chimed in, says that gun used was an old Mauser converted to 30-06. Yeah, those are too dangerous. Anybody can become an assassin with one. Did you know that? Just a regular everyday dude can just start picking people off, according to what I'm hearing in the news now. Open carry ban in Florida was overturned, or at least the judgment came down. But I was going to do a video on that tomorrow. Hopefully I'll have time. Hopefully I'm not working on cars all day. All right, where am I at? My sister never responded back about the Humane Society. I'm sure she checked, but after you said that, I'm like, did she check? And it's kind of like when you're like, I'm sure I turned off the stove, and then someone says, did you turn off the stove? And then you're like, oh, did I turn off the stove? Did I even use the stove? Then what part's the stove? The stove's the top, right? That's the top, right? The stove is the burners, and the oven is the bottom part. In our house, they're two separate things because of the. I guess it's the stove is over on the island in the center of the kitchen. It's one of those glass top things. It just sits on the counter, not on the counter, in the counter. And the ovens are in the wall. We got two ovens in the wall, and our used to be an oven and a microwave, but I cut it out a little bit more and put two ovens and put the microwave in the pantry. So now if you want to use our microwave, you got to open the pantry, and it's right there in front of you on a shelf, but you got to open the pantry to use our microwave. I thought at first that I would hate it, but I don't even think about it now. All right. Looks like we are caught up on everything. Let's get over to the live chat and see what's coming in over there. How are we doing on time? We still got a little time because I want to start the shooting the shit at the top of the hour. So if you want to get in on the shooting the shit, you can weigh in now. And remember that also will go to the puppy fund, and you will get entries into the shirt drawing and stuff tonight. So do that. Yeah. Topic. Oh, the topic is, I should say the topic. Topic is striker fired guns. Are they inferior to hammer fired guns? Are they more dangerous than hammer fired guns? Or are they just different? Let me know. Via the YouTube super chat, and that will be our conversation for the shooting the shit tonight. Just FYI. I finally looked under my son's hood of his Mustang today, and I want to steal all of his caps and stuff because they're all the upgraded billet aluminum caps and covers. I don't got that shit in my car. So it's pissing me off. And also, he needs to get his other car ready to sell because I can't afford to have them both here at the same time. We got to sell one of them. It's got to go. It's got to go quick. Anybody want to buy a Camaro? It's not leaking gas too bad, just a little. Okay, it's a lot, but you could probably fix it, right? I gotta get it fixed before anybody's gonna buy it. Got to sell it, and it's our fault. We did it. All right, let's get back over to the comments. The U.S. Army just told its drill sergeants to stop posting videos of recruits during basic training. I didn't even know they did that. Yeah, I didn't know they did that. I remember we used to get a yearbook from basic training. I still got my basic training yearbook somewhere. I still cued in it. But I wonder where that's at. It's probably in a box up in my son's closet. But I know they did yearbooks and stuff, but they didn't video us. But it was the early 80s, mid 80s, early to mid 80s. Hope that guy's dog goes to sleep tonight and never wakes up. Well, then we would have raised money for nothing, but I ain't giving the money back. It would go to cover the difference on pets and vets. Because right now we ain't doing well. Nothing of value would be lost flooding Alabama. Well, I know. That's why people always talk about, oh, California had a wildfire and there's $3 billion worth of damage. You know, the entire state of Alabama flooded and $7,400 worth of damage. And most of that was someone's El Camino that was up on blocks. And I lived in Alabama, so don't be like, oh, you did to being mean. I lived in Alabama too. I lived in Huntsville for years. Marshall's Space Flight Center, Redstone Arsenal. On Redstone Arsenal. That's where it's on Redstone Arsenal. If this was Oz, you'd be the guy behind the wizard. You are Phil. I'm not Phil. I wish I was Phil. Right now, I'd smash your fucking house. If I was Phil, and then I'd spit on it for good measure. If I was Phil, you'd be seeing a big old suction cup covered tentacle coming down at you right now. And squash. Really heartless. Call ATF and say that there are untaxed cigarettes in the house. The ATF agents will put the dog down. That's true, but I don't like the way they're going to do it. Because they're the kind that would shoot him in the stomach and let him die slow. Most upset I've seen you was when you was trying to get the little ducklings on the side of the road. I was just getting frustrated. They weren't wanting to cooperate. They were like, I'm going to jump back out. No, you're not. You're going to go up the hill. Little bastards. They were like, it's like they wanted to get run over. And I was afraid the whole time I was going to get my car run into because I'm right on a curve. It's just, this Braden fellow sounds handsome. Sounds to me like he probably got a face only a dog could love. If you're married to Nancy Pelosi or Maxine Waters, then drinking lots of alcohol would be better. What would be better would be a divorce. I don't know. They're both very rich. More Nancy Pelosi than Maxine Waters. So if I had to choose, probably Nancy Pelosi because she's super rich. But I'm sure Maxine Waters is rich too. And, you know, black don't crack. So, you know, you don't got to let them talk. Although I feel Nancy Pelosi's more of a top. So I don't know if I'd like that. Let's see here. Remember, if you want to weigh in for the after chat, the shooting the shit, we only got a few more minutes to get people weighing in. The topic tonight is striker fired guns. Are they inferior to hammer fired guns? Are they more dangerous than hammer fired guns, or are they just different? Let me know in the via the YouTube super chat. Suggesting an event for the channel, Firearm Fridays. What? Where you all buy me a firearm every Friday? I'd be okay with that. If anybody wants to buy me a firearm. Nothing Fancy in his Charlie Kirk memorial video talked about the Ukraine girl being stabbed. You mean the one on the train? Is that what that one was? And kind of dog whistles some racism against black people. Well, it's sometimes hard not to. Because even if you say something with the best intentions, you get accused. And it can come across like that. Even if you're saying something with the best intentions, it can come across like that. I'm not saying this is the case with Nothing Fancy. He's probably just a dumbass. But it's like when I talk about the statistics of how, 9% of the population or whatever does 67% of the violent crime. If you deny that, well, then you're denying reality. You were like, you're dog whistling to the racist. You're letting them know they've got a friend on your channel. I know racists don't got no friend on my channel. I make that very clear. But that don't mean I can't address reality. And it doesn't mean I can't say, well, why is this happening? And what can we do to stop it? What can we do to make it to where this is not a thing? To where people have better lives and they don't have to do this shit. Their only chance at making a living for themselves isn't pushing drugs and joining a gang. The only way they can get affection or to feel like they belong somewhere, it doesn't have to be joining a gang. There's obviously a big problem, and denying the problem doesn't help at all. In fact, it ensures that the problem continues. And it's so obvious how far people go out of their way to not acknowledge that there is a problem. The other day I was doing a video about violent felonies with guns, 3 strikes you're out, or a mandatory sentencing. And I typed in gangbangers with guns. I typed in criminals with guns. Every one of them white guys. Just always a white guy, always a white guy, always a white guy. And I'm like, well, doesn't represent gang culture all that well. But I did gang members with guns or gang bangers with guns. All white guys, all these staged, propped photos of white guys. I had to search, and then I got up on my high horse about it. I'm like, I'm going to find a fucking gang that looks like a gang. Not some white boys wearing brand new clothing from Target trying to look like they're in a gang in a studio. Because I'm like, that's not representative of reality. It's ignoring the problem. And when you ignore the problem, like I said, you perpetuate the problem. That's not a dog whistle to racists. In fact, I think it's the exact opposite. I think it's a call to stop pretending problems don't exist. Start helping the children that are in these situations that end up becoming criminals. Start putting money towards after school programs. Start putting money towards trade schools. How many guys out there right now? How many 13, 14-year-old kids, 15-year-old kids out there right now that don't have the best parents, who are going to end up in a gang or end up selling drugs or end up in prostitution? How many of those would do a lot better if they had after-school programs to go to every day? And then when they were in high school, they could get an apprenticeship as an electrician or an HVAC person or a mechanic. How many of them's lives would turn out different if that was offered to them, other than just saying, oh, no, you're not a problem. There's no problem. You're awesome. I don't want to be racist. That bullshit. That burns my ass. Big time. I think most of you know it. Big time. Let me make sure we're still caught up with everything. We're out of time. I got to get to the shooting the shit. Let me make sure we're caught up on all the super chats. If anybody still wants to donate to the thing, I think we got it covered. But if you want to donate, what was I going to say? You can do it through the YouTube super chat, because I am going to include those in the drawing tonight. So, all right, we are all caught up. We didn't get through much of the live chat because we had a lot Nothing fancy, is devoutly Christian. Well, then I figure he would love Charlie Kirk. I'm not a Christian. Cool. I have them here with me. Chuck didn't want to be alone tonight. So the old guy and his dog are at my sister's house right now, so she can take him to get things done tomorrow. All right, let's see here. All right, we're all caught up with everything. Like I said, that's the end of the Merc Guns and Freedom podcast for the day. Thanks, everybody. Well, no, wait. Well, yeah, wait, we're done with that. Thanks, everybody, for participating, especially those that participated in helping end Shadow's suffering. I almost said Go Shadow's suffering. It's appreciated. Anything left over will definitely go to the Pets and Vets Fund and help another animal, hopefully. So, thank you for everything you did. Thanks for people just ask questions, keep the conversation going. We'll be moving on to the shooting the shit here in just a second, so stick around. And if you want to weigh in, the topic today is striker-fired guns. Are they inferior to hammer-fired guns? Are they more dangerous than hammer-fired guns, or are they just different? Let me know what you think via the YouTube Super Chat. You'll also be entered into the drawing for a free item from my website tonight. So feel free to weigh in. And like I said, thanks to everybody else. I'll see you again tomorrow. Until then, remember, always carry and stay safe till I see you again.